I mean, we'll do some standing poses as well, where you may not need a chair, and that's fine too. You can use it any way you need it. We're going to start our warm up today with some breathing and then some seated that we're going to do in the chair. And then we'll stand and use the chair to help us. So find a chair where you feel comfortable, so you can sit upright but not feel too tense. You want to be aware and present. You don't want to be so relaxed that you're just kind of hang out. So find a chair that's a little firmer that you can sit up on. If it doesn't have arms, that may be a little bit easier. And if you have a chair with arms, that'll work too. When you sit in the chair, your feet should be flat on the floor. This may mean, if you're shorter of stature, that you have to sit a little bit more forward in the chair. And that's okay. Do what you need to do, or put some books or benches underneath your feet while you're doing the seated work, okay? Let's start with some breaths. This is a really challenging time for all of us. Please remember in your yoga practice that you don't do anything that hurts or feels very uncomfortable. Go at your own pace. Yoga is about how your body interprets the movements. There's no perfect way to do anything. I'll give you ideas, and hopefully you'll be guided by how your body feels. That's the key, okay? So sitting up, we'd like to be, again, present and tall. We don't want to feel too rigid or too tense. Let's roll the shoulders up, back, and down before we do a few breaths to center us. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and notice where you may be tense. You feel it in the neck every time you lift the shoulders, as your neck just kind of goes scree up the top. See if you can lengthen the neck every time the shoulders come back and down. Feel length through the neck. Inhale and exhale as you roll the shoulders. Connect them together. Shoulders go up, back, and down. So the sternum or chest feels lifted without you having to press it forward. You can feel how the spine sits down into the basin of the pelvis. We tend to take on life by moving forward into it. Leaning forward when we walk, leaning forward when we sit. See if we can take the front of our body and lay back and let it be supported by the muscles and strength of the back body. The shoulder blades move down. Keep your hands relaxed wherever you feel comfortable. Reaching up through the tops of the ears encourages us to bring our chin more parallel to the ground and not lifting it. You can close your eyes or not. It's completely up to you. Just feel your body sitting. Just inhaling naturally in and out. Feel the body sitting, the heaviness against the chair. Feel the body sitting, the feet against the floor, the mat. Maybe you can feel the skin soften and drape itself over the shape of your body, the support of your skeleton. Feel the body breathing. This is your breath. Don't need to fix it or change it. Just focus softly on it. The breath moves automatically through us. We can use it as a vehicle on which to rest our mind. With the next inhalation, imagine it swinging outwards like a hammock or the tide rolling back. With the next exhalation, imagine it gently swaying or swinging forward like a hammock again or the tide rolling in. Imagine each breath in this way. Inhaling as the hammock swings away. Exhaling as the hammock swings in. Resting the mind on the gentle flow of the breath. Our mind loves to rest upon the waves of our breath. Gives us a respite. Our working mind lulled by the rhythm of your breath. Note that at the end of each exhale, you sense a pause or a stop. And it's from there that the next inhale arises, all on its own. You don't have to affect it or change it. Just notice how it feels. If thoughts enter your mind, sometimes we can't help it, and that's okay. Imagine the next thought or idea that comes into your mind as a puffy dandelion gone to seed in the center of your palm, hand closed. On the next inhalation, open the hand and let that go. Let that fluffy dandelion float away. Any distractions, merely open your hand and let them float away. Coming back to breathing in this rhythm. However you experiencing it, like the sway of a hammock, the ocean tide, the limbs of a tree on a windy day. Allow the mind to rest upon the simple rhythm. If you'd like, you can set an intention for the practice or for the day today. What would you like to feel in and after your yoga practice? How would you like to feel for the rest of your day? And ending our breath practice with a sense of gratitude, focusing on all that we are grateful for, big or small. You can open your eyes and acclimate with the room around you. So it's okay to notice sights and sounds and lights. It's not a huge distraction when there's a noise or a sound or someone turns a light on. It's okay. You focus, you become sensitive to these in the way that your awareness is opening up. You're aware of them and you notice them happening and then you let them go. You open the palm and let them go. Let's begin some movement, and we'll use our breath to help us with our movement. Again, please make sure your feet are flat on the floor, about hips width apart. You may need to sit further forward in your chair. That's okay. I like to sit at least halfway forward, ankles underneath the knees. Inhaling the arms up, giving ourselves a nice stretch. And exhaling the hands down. You can bring them down to heart center. Let the wrists do a little extension here. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Just taking the right arm now, keeping the left arm either holding the chair or on the side of your body. Inhale over. And exhale. Other side now. Inhale over. Still staying up nice and tall. You'll notice that the further away your arms get from the sides of your waist, the more strength you need to utilize, the more strength you need to use on the front and back part of your torso. And that's okay. You draw your abdominal section and your back in towards each other like you're making a sandwich. Let the rib cage feel even on the right and the left, gently hugging in towards each other. Inhaling and exhaling. It's okay if the arms stay bent. It's okay if you don't go very far over. Let's roll the shoulders once again. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's inhale the arms to the cactus or goalpost position. Let's widen them apart, relaxing the elbows down as if you had weights hanging from your elbows. Elbows open here. We don't need to thrust the chest forward. Keep the top of the ears lifting. Inhale and exhale. Bring the elbows towards each other. They don't have to touch. Inhale, open. And exhale, draw in. Notice how this feels at the shoulder joint. We don't need to squeeze anything on top of our shoulders. We want to just squeeze around the neck or the ears. Notice where on the back of your body the muscles are working. Inhaling and exhaling. Then we're going to inhale, open, exhale, bring the hands down to the seat of the chair, or if you want, you can bring them to the back of the chair, or you can bring them behind your back. Again, the purpose here not being to thrust the chest forward, but to widen the front of the shoulder joints as if you're rolling them up, down, and back. Whether your hands are on the seat of the chair, on the back rungs of the chair, or behind your back. Keep reaching up to the tops of the ears, keeping the chin parallel. Breathe. We don't need to push our lower ribs forward. Let's keep our rib cage nice and even. Keep the shoulder blades down and back, heavy and low. On the next inhalation, let's gently place the hands on the thighs, still keeping that nice tall posture. One more inhale, and on the next exhale, bring that left ear towards that left shoulder. Hold. You have the option of staying here for this stretch, or you can take this opposite arm, this right arm back to the back of the chair. You'll feel the stretch a little bit more. Or behind the back, you'll feel it even more. So it's kind of up to you today. Maybe you have some soreness or stiffness from gardening. I do. And you can release that right hand, bring that head back up, both arms down, inhale here, and exhale the right ear towards the right shoulder. Just let the weight of your head do the work. You don't need to pull or push. You can take this opposite arm, this left arm, to the back rung of the chair to increase the feeling of the stretch, or behind your back. You can always move the head a little bit by looking down towards the floor instead of looking forward towards me. It's what feels good to you. If you find that this is very uncomfortable for your shoulder, then release that left arm. Just take a few breaths here. And inhale the head back up. Placing the hands on the thighs, reaching up to the tops of the ears. Inhale here, and exhale, tucking the chin, stretching to the back of the neck. This doesn't have to be huge. It's the weight of your head that's doing the work here. The posture that you put your body in, and the weight of your head. Inhale the head back up. Now we're just going to turn the head, chin parallel to the ground. Inhale here, exhale, look over that left shoulder, keeping the chin parallel to the ground. Keep up nice and tall through the tops of the ears. Inhale back to the center position. Exhale, look out over the right shoulder. And let's do that a few more times at our own pace. Inhaling, keeping the chin parallel. Exhaling, sometimes as we lose mobility, you'll notice, inhale center, exhale to the other side, that when you turn to look over your shoulder, like in a car, you'll lift your chin. See if you can, whenever you practice turning the head, inhale back to center, that you keep the chin parallel. Try not to lift and turn. This goes against the natural law of rotation for your cervical spine. We want to keep the chin nice and parallel and the spine long, so that all the vertebrae of the spine can do their jobs in the best way they can. And back to the center position. Awesome. Let's roll the shoulders. Let's do a tad bit of forward bending. Inhale here and exhale, hinge. Now I say hinge, we're hinging from the hips, the feet are flat on the floor. Reach forward through the tops of the ears, you're looking at the floor. Feel the front of your torso and waist hug up in towards the back so that your spine can stay neutral and straight. If you want, you can press gently into the feet, inhaling up, pushing the front body to the back body, lifting the arms. Give the chest a nice lift here. Lift the sternum just a bit, feel a small back bend. Inhale here. Exhale once again, reaching at that beautiful hip hinge. So this is a hinge at the hip. We're not rounding the spine. We're hugging the front waist in to support the spine in this neutral posture. And then once again, inhale up. You don't have to bend very far forward, especially if this makes you feel dizzy or uncomfortable in any way. A small bend of spine. Last exhale. from this position now, we're in a hip hinge. Let's place the elbows and forearms on top of the thighs and begin to relax the torso down a little bit more and feel the spine round. Let the spine round. You may feel this more at the area right where the top of your pants is. That's the top of where your lumbar spine begins and where your thoracic spine ends. Some folks may even be able to continue to lay the chest on the top of the thighs. Please be mindful if you have issues with blood pressure, you don't want to bring your head all the way down. But if you're comfortable with this, you definitely can reach the arms down and round the spine even further. Just for a few breaths, feeling the whole front belly hug up and in towards the spine. Just an easy forward bend. To come out, we'll place our elbows and forearms back on our thighs. Reach the sternum slightly forward as we press against our legs, and then press the front body into the back body to come up seated. Take a moment, make sure that we're comfortable. Don't want you to create any dizziness. Again, you don't have to come that far forward in any kind of forward bend. I can't see you, and I don't know how you're feeling today, so please go at your own pace. A little bit of twisting before we do some standing work, I think would be great. Inhale here, nice and tall, chin parallel. Exhale, turn to the side. So you can take this back arm to the back of the chair. You can rest this front arm on the side of the thigh, but you don't have to pull or torque. Keeping the chin parallel, now look back over that back shoulder, that left shoulder. Just breathe as the spine is lengthened all the way from the tailbone, all the way up through the back of the skull, reaching up to the top of the ears. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling, and noticing how the exhales affect the twist. Still sitting into the hips, but rising up. Inhale back into center position. As you exhale, let's go to the other side. You bring that back arm around. Sitting up nice and tall, chin is parallel, top of the ears are lifted. Continue looking back over that shoulder if that's comfortable. Lifting up through that spine. Feeling heavy in the hips, but lifted. We don't need to plant our hips in the chair. As you turn, your hips are going to move. I'm turning to the right. My right hip is going to move slightly back of my left hip. And that's right. That's neutral. That's perfect for your body. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Each exhalation helps with the twist. And let's come on back to the inhale. Great job. So now we're going to do some work standing. We're going to do a little bit of sun salutation. So you need to have your chair on something where it won't slip, or pushed up against something where it won't move. Like if you could push your chair up against a table or a counter or a couch or something like that, okay? So I'm gonna take my chair, it's on my yoga mat, but if I wanted to, I could put it up against my love seat so I know it wouldn't move, okay? So please find a space where it won't move. It's kind of important because you wanna feel comforted. You wanna feel like when you reach for that chair, it's there, it's not gonna slide out from behind you. Standing fairly close to the chair, so you can see my feet are pretty close, maybe 5 inches from the chair, from the seat of the chair. Bring the hands to heart center. This is Tadasana or mountain position. Thighs gently move back. So the thigh bones don't want to come forward. That's typical for posture. For some people with really poor posture, this is a very neutral way to stand. In Tadasana, we want our feet about hips width apart or wider, outer edges are parallel. We want these big thigh bones to move back behind us. Then roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and release. Reach up through the tops of the ears. You'll feel more of your weight in the heels of your feet, and that's correct. Lay the front body against the support of the back body. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms all the way up. Anytime you lift your arms up overhead, it is a little bit of a back bend for your mid to upper spine. So you can go ahead and even reach the sternum up a little higher and create more of a back bend if that's comfortable for you. Inhale here, exhale, hands to heart center. And back to Tadasana. And again, inhale up. Again, you can stay right here. You don't have to completely stretch or squeeze those fingers. You can lift the sternum a little bit, arch the spine just a bit if that feels good to you. Don't throw the head back. Let it look in the direction that your sternum is looking or your heart is looking. Inhale here. Exhale the arms out to the sides. And hinge, placing your hands on the seat of the chair. So we want to straighten the legs a little bit. So you might want to bend one knee and then the other because that may feel good to you. Like we did the forward bend in the chair, when we're halfway, our belly is working and our spine is neutral. So this is a great place to be. It's a great way to practice, a great way to lengthen the hamstrings, keep the hips over the ankles. If you're wanting more of a back bend, you'll notice if I go lower, my belly pulls in as I release down towards the seat of the chair. And that's something that might feel very good to you. It's okay if your knees are completely straight. But when we come up from a forward bend, it's always with a strong, firm back and belly. Let's place our hands back on the seat of the chair so that we can lengthen the spine. You come up with your fingertips, you can keep your palms on the seat of the chair. That's an excellent place to be. Let's move from here into a warrior one or a lunge, depending upon you. So I'm going to take this leg and step it back. So this is my right leg. I'm going to step my right leg back. I'm going to look at my feet to make sure they're not on a tightrope. We want them to be about hips width apart. You have an option. You can step back a little further, come up on the balls of your feet for more of a balance challenge, or you can turn that right foot out a little bit for more comfort. Now we have the option to bend the front knee just a bit, lowering the hips down between the legs. Press back into that back heel. You can stay right here, keeping the spine long, little bend in the front knee, a lot of lengthening in the back leg. You can step that back foot back further if you want to challenge yourself. And then you have the option of coming up a little higher in your lunge position. And you also have the option of coming all the way up, moving the front body into the back body. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling them down to heart center. So you can keep your fingertips on the chair or you can come upright. You also have the option once you're upright to open up the chest in the goalpost or cactus way, or to clasp the hands or just hold the thumbs behind you to get a little bit more opening. If you do have your hands behind you or your arms in goalposts, you can lift the sternum up just a little bit, arching once again. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, hinging down to the chair, hinging so the belly is strong. Now what we're going to do is step the front foot to the back foot for downward facing dog. Let's make the feet parallel. What we'd like to do here with downward facing dog, I'm going to move my chair forward so you can see better, is we want to let the inner elbow creases look at each other and then push the seat of the chair and reach the back of the hips up. It's okay if the knees bend a bit, or if you have to widen your feet a little bit more. See if you can keep the feet parallel, however, not turned out. As you push the seat away and you hinge at this hip, I'm hinging at the hip, my back is long. Keep thinking of those inner elbow creases looking at each other. Push the seat away. Push, push, push. Find just the right position for you, where your hands need to be, how far back your feet need to be. Head rests gently in between the arms. Take a few breaths here. Again, you can bend one knee and then the other. Give yourself a little bit more love for those hamstrings. Not easy breaths. You don't need to drop your chest or your head between your arms.
She's starting early today.
And then when you're ready,
maybe I got the wrong time.
And we're going to step this other foot forward. So now we're going to step, I'm going to step my right foot forward this time. So it's the opposite lunge position. I'm going to come up on my fingertips. So I'm pressing back through the back foot. I've turned the back foot out for warrior one position. So the back foot's turned out slightly, have a little bend in the front knee. We don't want that front knee to go way past the ankle. When you're close to the chair, that's kind of a protective measure for you. You can even double check that by moving the chair a little closer to have the knee up against it. So in the lunge position, we have a nice long spine. You can stay here with your fingertips or your hands upon the chair, or you can really reach back into the back leg to come up into the warrior one position. Bend the knee by lowering the hips between the two legs, not by pushing forward into your knee. Inhale the arms up for warrior one position. Reaching the sternum up, reaching the sternum up. Whew. Maybe you're making a little arch, maybe you're not. Maybe you have your arms in the goalpost cactus position to lift the heart, or the hands behind you. Maybe your fingertips are on the chair for your lunge. You're just experiencing what's going on with both legs. It's okay. And then inhale the arms up. And exhale to hinge back down towards the chair. And get ready to step back into downward facing dog again. So you're going to step that front foot back to the back foot, walk it back. Feet are parallel. Decide how much length you need from the chair to the leg so that you feel comfortable. If you can straighten the knees or work towards that, that's great. But most importantly, push the chair away. Let the inner elbow creases look at each other instead of the ceiling. Reach the hips back, whether your knees are bent or not. See if you can feel length on the sides of your waist in downward facing dog. Beautiful. Now we can engage a little bit more strength here if you like or want to try. On the next inhalation, pull the belly strong into the spine and hinge forward. This is like a plank pose, right? We have pretty straight arms, inner elbow creases looking at each other. We're pressing down through our hands into the chair, through the base of the thumb, the index finger more than the outer edge, and our legs are straight. Our hips are straight. The belly is firm. Let's push back to downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, lift the hips up. Push. Lead with the belly. When you move into downward facing dog, lead with that low belly where the belly button is. You can try this one more time if you like, or you can stay here. Inhale forward. Give yourself a little bit of that plank position in the chair. You don't have to come very far forward. Press to the base of the index finger and thumb to protect your wrist. Inner elbow creases in. And then exhale, reach back with the belly, with the hips, for downward facing dog. Very gently now. Come forward with the chest. You can walk the feet forward to the chair. Practicing the forward bend. Inhale here. And exhale, come down. You can bring your elbows. You can bend the knees as needed. Just relax. See if we can let the back soften and round a bit now as we relax the forearms and elbows on the chair and relax the head down. Take some easy breaths as you feel the lower belly and its organs tuck themselves up into your pelvis. Relax the head and neck. Each inhale and exhale is an opportunity for you to move a little bit somewhere if you feel you need to. I'm moving my hips. Each inhale and exhale. Okay, moving the right hip back a little further and back up to center. And then the next breath, I'm moving the left hip back a little further. It's a very small movement. You may not be able to see it if you look at me, but I'm just gently kind of moving one hip back, one hip forward, just a little bit, noticing how that feels with my knees straighter. Then I'm going to place my hands on the center of the chair, inhaling, bring myself up here. Just breathing. Walk the hands in. You can bend the knees a little bit if you need to. Let's swing the arms back and lengthen here so we can remind ourselves to use the strength of our abdominals and our back as we squeeze our sit bones down towards our heels and lift the chest up. Inhale up and exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Let's take a minute to sit here at the end of this practice. Great job, everybody. We did a little bit of sun salutation, honoring the great weather that we've been having, right? So it's a great thing to do a sun salutation to honor that weather. We can take a wide stance if you feel like a stretch. Hands on the thighs or hips. I'm going to hinge slightly forward with my hips and then turn by straightening my right arm as I turn my chest to the left. You may feel this on the back body, also on the thigh. I'm not pushing my knee. I'm just laying my hand there. You may feel this in the back body. Come back to center, inhaling. Exhale, I'm going to hinge slightly and then turn the other direction, straightening this arm, but not pushing into my knee. And back to the center position. Awesome. Walking in. You have the option now to bring one foot and ankle across the other thigh. If this is really hard for you, and that's okay if it is, you can just cross the legs, or you can cross at the ankle. If you cross at the ankle, what you're going to want to do is kind of hug the back of the ankle in towards the opposite shin and widen the knee out. So that's the key. You want to widen the knee out so you get it stretch here. Or you can be here, sitting up nice and tall, or here. And notice how sitting up tall makes the difference for this piriformis stretch. The minute we relax back, the stretch goes away, yeah? So sit up nice and tall, kind of widening your gluteus behind you a little bit in the chair. The feet stay active and flexed so we don't torque the joints. If we're tight in the hip, that can torque the knee joint and the ankle joint. And a lot of us are tight in the hip and it creates some knee issues. So make sure that these are in line with each other, and that way you'll gently be able to open up the hip and keep your knee safe. And then let's switch sides. Again, you can cross the ankle over the other ankle and widen the knee out to the side. You're going to feel a stretch there. Or you can cross the legs as long as you're sitting up tall. Or you can cross in this way. Foot flexed, nice and strong. If the foot is flexed and you're strong through the and aligned through the ankle and the knee joint, you can feel the stretching going on in the hip. Reach up through the tops of the ears. Oops, I gotta finish here. Okay, gorgeous. And then gently release. Great job. So just sit in the chair comfortably for a moment. Feet can be on the floor. If you can sit all the way back in the chair, just move back with your tuchus first. So kind of widen your tuchus back in the chair first, then sit up. So you don't just automatically lay against the back of the chair. Feet are relaxed on the floor, hands are relaxed here. Rolling the shoulders, whew. Reaching up through the tops of the ears, and then softening everything down over the shape of your body. Close your eyes for a minute and come back to that wave of breath, that hammock feeling as the breath swings out and back, and the mind can rest. This is a very challenging time in the world. We've all personally been through many challenging times. With our yoga practice and our breath practice, we begin to learn that it's in our connection to others, and the giving, and the being able to receive, and the thankfulness, and the compassion, and care, and consideration. It's there that we come together and celebrate. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Hopefully you practice your breath and your meditation as often as you need to. As often as you'd like to. Go ahead and open your eyes. Acclimate a little bit. Bring the hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me this morning.